Investing in yourself is the best thing you can do, and it gives you the best return in my experience. But most people don't know where to start and they don't know what to do. So watch this video and I'll give you tips on some of the things you can do to improve your personal development so that you get the best return for yourself, for your business and your family. This series is all about investing in yourself and in your business. So I'm going to cover quite a few different things, starting off with investing in yourself and then talking about investing in different types of assets, possibly businesses, and also the amount of money you've got to invest. But by far the biggest investment and the return on investment, I believe, in my experience of having been in business for a long time and having invested a lot of money in personal and self-development, by far investing in yourself will pay the biggest return for you in many different ways. But of course, sometimes, especially when you're new, you don't know where to start. What do you do? So I'm going to share with you some things which I hope are going to help you to think about how you can invest in yourself. The first one, which is an obvious one, which I think people don't do enough of, and truth be known, I didn't do enough of this at the start, which is to read books. I think books are fantastic. The return on investment in terms of the time you spend reading a book and how much it costs you is phenomenal return. Now what I do is I read a book a week, and then I also subscribe to Audible, and I go through between 4 to 6 minimum audiobooks a month, depending on how much I'm in the car and where I'm driving to, obviously. But I would definitely recommend you read books, make it a habit. Some people say, oh, I don't read books, I don't like books. Well, start with a topic that you're interested in and maybe spend 10 minutes at night or first thing in the morning just reading. 10 minutes will become 20, will become half an hour, and you'll find it quite therapeutic, if I may say so. And it's going to help you with your mindset, help you to relieve stress. It improves your language, vocabulary, helps you in terms of improving your memory, and I think it can be your best friend. So books and reading end up being your best friend. They're a good guide, and of course we can read books on very many different topics. I generally tend to stick to autobiographies, biographies, a little bit on history, but predominantly on business, different types and sectors of business. I find that quite interesting. But obviously I think it doesn't matter what type of books you read. Whatever you read, you'll take something away from it, whether you're reading for business purposes or just to relax and chill out. Secondly, and quite importantly, is going on courses. So there's a lot of information available out there, both on social media, on Google, elsewhere. On top of that, you've then got paid for courses on specific sectors, but also on broad topics like time management, leadership, general management, and personal development in itself, sales, marketing, and I think those courses are fantastic to help you understand more about business. Because the thing is this: you can do what I did many years ago, spend loads of time on making the mistakes, learning from them, and then improving as you go along. That's going to take a long time, and it's going to cost you a lot of money, both in terms of the mistakes, but most importantly, or more importantly, in terms of the missed opportunities and the opportunity cost, and that you can't get back. So going on courses shortens that learning curve. You meet people who are doing things which you're not doing, so you can learn from their mistakes, learn what they're working on, learn what the new trends are, what the new things people are working on. And if you're on a course with quite a few people, especially if it's an ongoing course like a mastermind, which I'm going to come to in a second, you can then see what others are doing and how well it's working for them. And when you see a common thread, you think, this is really good, I ought to be doing this, and so you're going to be more likely to implement that, or at least test it. So courses are fantastic, and you can spend anywhere from free courses all the way up to paid courses, and I think it's money extremely well spent. And I can put hand on heart and say pretty much all the money that I've spent on courses, from every course I've learned something. Yeah, some are better than others, no doubt, but you learn from them. So from the courses, you can then move on to joining mentoring groups, which can be general in terms of focus on one particular type or area of business. So it could be finance, could be marketing, could be sales, could be operations. And then you've got niche specific groups. Like for example, I would be in a property group if I wanted to improve my property business. I'd be in a accountancy group if I wanted to improve my accountancy business. It's the same for children's day nursery, the same for speaking. So depending on the type of which business I wanted to improve, I'd go into one of those niche groups. I think the niche groups are really fantastic. You learn a lot from them. So mentoring groups help. With that, you can then be part of mastermind groups. Generally speaking, mentoring groups tend to be bigger. Masterminds are smaller, anywhere from say 4 people to 12 people, sometimes 15, sometimes 18, but 8 to 12 is a sweet spot. They cost quite a bit of money, by the way, especially the good ones, but they are worth the investment because you're going to learn from somebody who's the facilitator. So they've got either experience of being in the sector or helping people in your sector, and it's going to really focus you. It's going to bring accountability, it's going to bring transparency, it's going to help you to validate and reinforce whether what you're doing is working or isn't working, and you can improve, and it's going to be a complete game changer. I've been part of mastermind groups for quite a few years. I'm part of one now. I don't think I would ever stop being in a mastermind group. They're fantastic, brilliant. Linked with those, you can then have peer-to-peer groups. Again, you can have free groups or you can have paid-for groups. You can even start one yourself. So let's say if you're in digital marketing, you can find 4 to 6 people up and down the country who you find very inspirational or who are doing really good stuff. Approach them, invite them to be part of a peer group. I did that for accountancy. I've got 7 others, I believe, in our peer group. We started it in 2014, 2015, so best part of 5 or 6 years now. And it's brilliant. It's one of the best things we've ever done. You get to know people personally. The more you know them, the more they share, the more you share, the more you all learn and develop, and you form friendships for life. So that's fantastic, and it's brilliant. With that, you can then obviously move on to personal one-to-one coaching and mentoring. Again, depends on who you're working with, but that can be a pretty significant investment. But again, worth every penny, because you'll have somebody who's going to hold you to account, who's going to help you set goals, bring transparency in that process. Because in business, it can be lonely. So you kind of promise yourself to do stuff, and then it's kind of manana, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And I'm sure there's things that you probably wanted to do in your business, unless you're extremely focused, that you wanted to do, but you haven't done because something comes in the way. Well, a good coach or a mentor is going to hold you to account and going to encourage you to make sure you get those things done. And when you get them done, A, there's less stress for you, B, you're going to improve. Other areas where you can invest in is go to your meetings for networking. Loads of networking meetings, some are free, most of them aren't that expensive. Gives you an opportunity to learn from others, make contacts, stand up at the front of the room, speak and talk about your business, so it helps you to gain some exposure and credibility, make new contacts in your business for people that you need to be part of. BNI is a popular one which works for a lot of businesses, but there's plenty of others out there. Again, some are niche specific, so you can go to those. Linked with those, there are other associations which are sector specific. I'd strongly recommend you go to those. Sometimes you get those annual conventions or trade shows. Go to those. They are really good. You're going to pick up a lot of new learning, development, what's happening in the marketplace, and you're going to make contacts. So that can be general associations or niche specific associations. Linked with that, then depending on the type of industry you're in, you'll have CPD, continuing professional development. You have to do that if you're part of a certain association or an institute. That helps with your learning. And then you've got free stuff like YouTube videos. There's plenty of fantastic content on YouTube, which is absolutely free. so you can be part of that. Then you've got platforms like Kajabi and Patreon, where you subscribe to content from particular industry and thought leaders. Again, another brilliant way of learning. And linked with that, you've then got magazines and that you can subscribe to for £2, £5, £7, £10, £15, and newsletters. So that you can see there's a lot there. But I can tell you now, the more time that you spend investing in yourself, the bigger the return is going to be, the sharper your mind is going to be, the more contacts you're going to make, the more progressive and forward thinking you'll be, the more value you'll add to your customers, clients and patients and tenants, if that applies to you, if you're in property. It overall, you're going to benefit immensely, and I say that to you both as having been a recipient of advice and then somebody who delivers advice as a coach. It's extremely important you invest in yourself, you make time, and you block out that at the start of the year to work out how many hours you're going to spend on investing in yourself. Block that time out in your diary if you can, and make sure you do it, and in a year's time you'll see you'll have made so much progress just in 1 year, that going forward every single year you're going to make sure you could keep investing in yourself, and you're going to see a massive return. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. I always personally make sure I answer every single question for you. If you like this video, click like so I know this is the type of content you want, and if you want regular content from me, click subscribe, and then you'll be updated with regular content. And in the comments box, let me know what you want me to talk about. If I know something about it and I've got the experience, I'll talk about it. If I haven't, I will let you know of somebody else who I know who is better qualified to deliver that advice.